In 2018, you couldn't walk into a startup office in San Francisco without seeing these shoes. Gray, minimal, soft wool. Every founder had them. Every venture capitalist had them. Every head of growth wore the same pair. They weren't just sneakers. They were a signal. You were early. You were thoughtful. You cared about sustainability. You drank oat milk. At its peak, this company was worth $4 billion. 3 years later, the stock lost more than 90% of its value. Stores started closing, discounts everywhere, layoffs. And this brand that defined modern direct-to-consumer couldn't figure out how to sell their shoes profitably. Today, we're breaking down how one of the most loved brands in tech quietly fell apart. Hey, it's Jimmy Kim, and every week on Why It Failed, we break down companies that looked unstoppable until they weren't. Not just what happened, but the marketing decisions and the growth bets and the small mistakes that slowly killed them. Today's story, Allbirds. The story starts in New Zealand. A former professional soccer player named Tim Brown had a simple idea. What if sneakers weren't plastic? What if they're made from wool, natural, soft, sustainable, not high performance, not hype, just comfortable. In 2014, he launched a Kickstarter. His goal, $30,000. And they hit that in days, not because the shoe was revolutionary, because the story was. Here's where most founders miss. People don't buy products. They buy identity, and Allbirds nailed identity. Simple colors, clean website, one product. Not 200 SKUs. Just, here's the world's most comfortable shoe. That's it. No complexity, no decision fatigue, just comfort. And it spreads, not just through ads, through word of mouth, through tech, Twitter, or X, through venture capitalists, through founders, until something weird happens and a shoe becomes a uniform. By 2017, Allbirds isn't just a shoe company, it's cultural. If you worked in tech, you owned a pair. If you didn't, you're probably about to. They go full direct to consumer. No wholesale, no middleman. And margins are fat. Word of mouth is insane. CAC, or customer acquisition cost, is basically zero. This is every marketer's dream. And then they start scaling. Facebook ads, Instagram, influencers, and it works. Revenue explodes. 50 million, 100 million, $200 million, and investor money starts pouring in. Andreessen Horowitz, celebrities, the valuation climbs into the billions. On paper, it's perfect. But here's the thing about growth. When everything is working, it hides your weaknesses. And that's where the trouble starts. When Facebook ads are cheap, every brand looks like a genius. You can buy growth. You don't have to earn it. And when you can buy growth, you stop asking harder questions like, do customers come back? Or are we just renting them? Allbirds didn't know yet because they didn't need to. This is the turning point. Every great failure has one. A moment where things quietly shift. And for Allbirds, it was expansion. They started adding products, running shoes, slip-ons, flats, apparels, socks, underwear, from one hero product to dozens. Then retail stores, beautiful ones, wood interiors, minimal design, premium leases. It looked incredible. It felt like success. But retail isn't branding. Retail is math. Rent, staff, inventory. Suddenly your simple, high-margin, direct-to-consumer brand gets complicated fast. Meanwhile, something else changes. Facebook ads get more expensive. Competition starts to flood in, and every brand copies them. Sustainable sneakers, wool runners, eco shoes. Turns out, wool isn't a moat. Anyone can make it, and now customer acquisition doubles, then triples, and then this is where the number starts to hurt. If you're not obsessed with repeat purchases, you're dead, because customers don't come back. You have to pay for them again and again and again. That's not a brand. That's a treadmill. Allbirds' problem? Shoes aren't bought every month, and people didn't love them enough to keep buying more. By 2020, the hype fades. The tech uniform thing, it stops being cool. Fashion moves on, offices go remote, people stop commuting. Why would you need comfy office sneakers when you're home all day? Inventory starts to pile up. Stores get quieter and growth slows. And what do? Discount. And that's where it really truly hurts, because the brand that was putting itself into a premium simplicity is now running 30% off, 40% off, clearance sales. And the moment you teach customers to wait for discounts, well, you've trained them to never pay full price again. Then comes the IPO. Big day, NASDAQ bell, press, valuation, billions of dollars. But the public market don't care about vibes. They care about profit. And Allbirds still losing money. CAC is rising, shoes are expensive, inventory is heavy, retention is weak. The shoe stock slides, then slides some more, then crashes to 90% off, layoffs, store closures. The same brand that once felt inevitable suddenly feels fragile. And just like that, the darling of D2C becomes a cautionary tale. So here's the real question. If Allbirds today, what would I do differently here? So my name is Jimmy, and I've been in direct-to-consumer for almost 20 years, really being on all sides, from the SaaS, the brand, and the agency side. And I like to take a look into the marketing of why brands failed. And today we're talking about Allbirds. And so if you think about what Allbirds could have done differently, first, I think the first thing I would have done would have been to go back to that one hero product, just one, not 20. Second, I killed that retail channel, right? They were killing it on their own channels, email, SMS, community, and their retention was probably not bad, especially versus their acquisition. And every time I think about that, that's probably where I'd go. And third, I'd build a reason to buy again. Limited drops, seasonal colors, collaboration, something to create momentum, because without repeat purchases, you're just paying Meta forever, or AppLovin, and whoever you're paying that bill to. And fourth, I'd stop believing in the hype, because the hype doesn't show up in your P&L, only margins do. Listen, Allbirds didn't fail because the shoe was bad. They failed because growth covered the fundamentals until it couldn't. Next week, we're breaking down a $1.7 billion streaming app that died in 6 months, Quilby. I'm Jimmy Kim, and this is why it's failed.